What is going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but this channel has seen a lot of changes over these last 6 years. Maybe most of you haven't been here for that long, but there was a time when the channel was booming and things were happening, things were moving. But then you fast forward to 2024 and things are starting to feel a little bit more challenging than they used to be. It seems the channel has quote-unquote fallen off, as they say nowadays, and I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't agree with that or if I haven't noticed. There used to be a very passionate community here who were very engaged with the content and with me in general, and today it just feels like an uphill battle to get back to how things used to be. Obviously the XBA fiasco didn't help matters whatsoever, and it's still a sore subject for a lot of people, myself included. I've apologized for how I handled some things with that, but in many circles the damage has been done, per se, and I've come to terms with that. You know, from this point forward, it's really about moving forward and being thankful to those that have stuck around through the thick and thin. You know, I can see it now. When I was in it, when I was in the thick of it, and just thinking that YouTube had typecasted my channel, that they think that this is a 2K channel. That's what the subscribers want here. That's what the audience wants here, but I'm not interested in it. That was very frustrating for me to have worked so hard at building a channel based on other things that I actually like doing. MLB, NCAA, Madden, all of that stuff, right? To build a channel from where it was and put that many years into working on something, and then for YouTube to just say, you're a 2K channel. That's what your audience wants. That's what you should do. That was very, very frustrating. A concept to believe in. And I held very strongly that that's what was happening. But, you know, you make the decision to put those videos on private against a lot of people, what they said you shouldn't do. I did it anyway. It didn't work. My theory was wrong. And it hurt a lot of people, right? Hurt a lot of people, hurt a lot of the community, people that liked that series, people that wanted to go back and rewatch it, people that spent a lot of time helping me create the series. It hurt a lot of people too. So, and I've apologized for that. That's all I can do at that point. I was wrong. I thought that it was going to work a certain way. I thought that, you know, how I understood YouTube, that's the way it was. And it's just, it didn't work that way. So I was wrong. You know, and despite all of that, despite some of the things that I said, some of the things that I did, some of the, you know, I still feel like I'm the same person. I still feel like I'm the same person that started the channel back in 2017. I've always wanted you guys to be involved in a series. I've wanted to provide you something entertaining, worth watching. And I've always held the belief that viewers on YouTube could be doing so many other things, but they're choosing to watch you in a given moment. And that's an honor, so you have to make it worth their while. And if not, what's preventing them from turning me off and watching somebody else or making content themselves? Anybody can turn around a bad franchise. Anybody can turn around a bad college football program in NCAA football. What makes my little YouTube series any different than what a viewer can do in their own spare time, right? We can all do this stuff, but what makes you want to watch me do it? That's got to be the main focus. So that's why I've always been community heavy, and it's why I've been so hyper focused on custom players, community voting, gathering feedback like on videos like this, or through surveys or pings in Discord. You know, and to some people it might be annoying, and I get that, just constantly asking for feedback, but I want to understand the audience better. It comes from a good place. I want to create content that you guys actually enjoy. I don't want to waste my time or my energy or resources that I have creating content that just isn't working for you. It's not hitting with you. It's not resonating with you. You know, in other words, why fish in one spot that you know you're not getting any bites, but then you look across the pond and you see a bunch of other fishermen like killing it, like they're having success and you're not. It's then self-inflicted destruction at that point if you just continue to sit there and, you know, just push through like, nope, it's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. Dude, it's not working. You should move. You should move to another spot. So that's kind of where I'm at. And again, just to kind of bring this back full circle here, I made some mistakes. You know, I made mistakes on how I handled the XBA thing. I made mistakes on how I handled the community in that tough period of time. You know, I've long said it. I just hope that you guys understand like where I was coming from. I strongly felt like I was right, that YouTube was doing something to my channel that I didn't approve of, that I didn't like. And I was bound and determined to save it, to save the channel, something that I had worked for for many, many years to build it up to where it was. You guys got to think that's a lot of hours, man. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time investment. I edit my own videos. I do my own thumbnails. It's a lot of money. Adobe isn't cheap. There's other things that aren't cheap. Internet, high-speed internet, improving your internet speed, the live stream. There's a lot of money invested into it too. So then you get YouTube doing its thing with the algorithm. It, shifting and jostling you around like you're just some plaything. It felt very frustrating. It felt like very disrespectful for YouTube to deem my channel as a 2K channel when it's never been that, right? So believing that and feeling so strongly about it, like I wasn't listening to anybody. I was a bull in a china shop, and I apologize for that. I should have been a little bit more open to receive the feedback. But anyway, all in all, the purpose of this video is not to be a downer. I think you can hear it in my voice. That's not really where I'm at. So it's just to communicate to you all that I know that I'm aware of where the channel is at today. I'm aware of the negativity of how some things went down a while back and how that's affected the present. Like, this is where we are. We can't go back. We got to move forward. So I want to get back to how things were, but I'm hoping we can do that in 24 and moving forward from not only just a personal standpoint. Like, I want you guys to get to know me again. I want to know you guys again, because things have changed, man. 6 years ago is a long time for those of you that are still around. Maybe even 3 years ago, back in 2021. That's a long time. So from a personal standpoint, I want to get to know you guys better. I feel like maybe you need to get to know me a little bit better. And even from a numbers viewpoint, views, comments, likes, etc. Like, at the end of the day, it is a numbers game. YouTube is a numbers game. And I'm just hoping that we can do both. Hoping we can get back to a personal level that we used to have and a numbers level that we used to have as well. So speaking of numbers, I recently asked in a community tab post, what makes you stop watching a series? Like, why do we go from like 4,000 4,000 viewers on a video down to like 500? Like, what is that? What is the reason for that? The majority of you said winning too early or too often is what turns you off, which makes complete and total sense why that would be happening, why views are so vastly different from episode 1 to episode 20. Winning too early makes a series lose intrigue. I get it, 100%. I get it. But to be upfront with you, I always play each series in the hardest difficulty from the very get-go, and then I try to make things more challenging as I adjust sliders once I start getting the hang of it, right? Because eventually, like, the computer learns, but you're a human, you learn too. You get better at things the more that you play it, the more that you practice. And at some point, I figure it out. I figure the game out, and we do start winning too often. But I also kind of balance that, because if we're in like year 2, year 3, like, you would think at the moves that you've made, how you've gotten better would get you to that point of where you're actually starting to win more. So I want to be rewarded for the moves and the decisions that I made. So, but even on a reasonably difficult slider set, the winning too often kind of gets to you guys, and I understand it. But with that being said, I'm not entirely sure what the answer is on how to fix it or to avoid winning too often. Is it implementing more challenges? Is it being more creative with the handcuffs, I like to call it? If you're going to master the gameplay, eventually these creative things have to be considered to provide more of a challenge. But I've also noticed that the more creative you get with the rules or the handcuffs, people also start to lose interest in that too, since it's hard to follow. A lot of casuals just want to see you play the game, and then they're in and they're out. Like, you start really niching down if you have too many rules or too many creative things popping in to try to put those handcuffs on you. So there's a balance that needs to be stricken when it comes to that kind of thing. Another few comments I saw in that very same poll mentioned ending series too early. And I've seen this comment pop up a few times in the past, and I guess it's something I've never really figured out a good way to handle, like, ever. I struggle with it. On one end, I see so many creators in our space end a series, or they never finish it if it dips below a certain view count level, then they just stop. I've seen some people like throw episode 1 in there, and if it doesn't get 3,000 views or something, they're done with it. Right? But that's their threshold, right? My threshold is literally, I'm just looking for 1,000 views over here. I'm looking for pennies. Let's get 1,000 views regularly, and I'd be happy. But I can only count a few series I've ever done that with. UAB comes to mind because I had a disc scratch that the Xbox wouldn't read anymore. Ricky Holberman's Reboot had like 1 episode in it, and I think we barely got over like 300 views or something. I'd have to look back at it, but At that point, at 300 views and knowing full well that views are going to drop, it's just like, I'm going to get 80 views on this thing by episode 20. Like, let's just not even go down that road. I can only see a couple things that I've ever done that with. And I've always prided myself on having a final episode to long-standing series, no matter what. We could be getting 300 views, it could be getting 100 views. If anything, I feel like some of my series drag on from a YouTube creator perspective. Like, most people would be ending this stuff if it hits 100 views, 200 views, they're just done. But, you're right. Some of you guys are right. Do some series drag on? Yes. Do some series end too quickly? Maybe. I think both things have happened here, but I just don't know what's too quickly for a series to end. You guys are going to have to let me know that. 40 episodes, is that too quick? 20 episodes, is that too quick? How many episodes are too many? 60? 100? I've seen some creators have 100 episodes in their MLB series. Is that a lot? Is that too many? Like, what are the numbers here? What's a good ending point? Is it a championship? Is it 2 championships? Because there's still some storylines that could be at play even if you've won your championship, right? I've also noticed the one thing I struggle with too is that some of my series take forever to get through, and I feel like that's a big component as to why views just drop off. You might get Sun Sox Saucers once per week. You might get Mac Team Builder once per week. I think running too many series hurts you. I think it hurts each series individually. Like, if we really focus down to like 1 or 2 series at a time, you can post multiple times during the week rather than just, hey, here's a MLB The Show on a Monday, and then you're not going to get the next one until next Wednesday or something. That's a long time to wait for the next episode, right? So, as an example, take the Mac Team Builder with Southern Michigan and Lake Huron. Me and Little Bro started that series in April of 2022. We're nearing the 2-year mark for that series. Is that too long? Or is that just right? Because if you look at the view counts, most creators would have been done with that thing. Like, it's barely hitting 200 views on those videos. So, what's too long? What's too short? I gotta know. I also think there might be some confusion on what exactly I'm doing with my content. Saints and Cajun 6, XHL, all of those things were long-standing on the GG9 channel, and then I moved them to GG Extra, basically like to get them away from the algorithm, thinking that was going to somehow fix things. It didn't. And so people are confused. Like, I was watching that over on GG9, now it's over here on GG Extra. I've got, like, some episodes are over there and some episodes are over here. Like, what is happening right now? GGBL was a series that I ran in MLB 21, moved it over to its own channel in 23, and it's still going. It's about 1,000 subscribers now, just hit the mark, so thank you guys very much for all the support over there. And so maybe all that's confusing, and rightfully so, but kind of here is where I see each channel moving forward. So you can count on this as my structure for all these channels that I have going on. So for GG9, all things sports gaming is going to be here. If the video is based on franchise or dynasty content or sports gaming in general, it could be like retro baseball games like All-Star Baseball or Ken Griffey Jr. or anything sports is going to be here. But it's going to lean heavily towards MLB The Show and NCAA football. Things like NHL or Madden, those things are always on the table for me because I do like those sports, but it's not a priority here on this channel. So GG Extra, it's going to be anything not sports gaming, which is kind of weird because now I got Browns, a rebuild on the Browns over there, a little mini rebuild. I've got XHL, Saints, Cajun 6. I've got all those things in those playlists over there on GG Extra. But that's not how I'm seeing the channel moving forward. I think it's going to be more based on like retro games, adventure, action games, walkthroughs, playthroughs, things that I've always enjoyed playing, but I've never like gotten the chance to dive into in the last 6 years. I've missed out on some good games, man. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I've literally have that game right here unopened. I'm looking right at it. I haven't even opened it. Got it for Christmas. Haven't opened it. It's March. Like there's stuff that I've really wanted to play that I haven't been able to. My love for gaming is big. Like I have a very broad interest when it comes to games, and I want to share those experiences with you. So that's kind of my way of, let's record all this, let's have some fun with it, and let's put it all on GG Extra. I kind of see this channel as kind of the fun channel, where I'm not bound to one particular genre, right? Let's just blow this thing up, you know, and into anything and everything. Just throw darts at it. I don't care if it ever has a good subscriber count, but I just want to have fun with that channel. That's where all that stuff's gonna head out to. Now the Underdog. I'm in the middle of a rebrand right now. I'm actually working with Fusey. His social and his links are in the description. I've loved working with him. He actually made this logo for GG9 and all the branding for it, all the streaming overlays and things like that, animations. He's awesome to work with. So if you guys are in need of something like that, if you're getting into the content scene, go to him. I highly recommend. But he actually made the Underdog's first branding, and now I'm doing a rebrand for the Underdog. And this is going to be anything shooter related. And I plan on making more content over there because I am spending some money here to do a rebrand. But I do love me some shooter games, man. It's, in all honesty, I feel like I enjoy myself more with that than sports gaming, which might be a shock for some of you guys. Like, Goldie, if you love it so much, why don't you make content on shooter stuff then? Like, if you like it more than the sports, why don't you do that? Well, I think it's more the social aspect. Like, I don't play user versus user in sports. Like, I just get my butt kicked. I don't have a fun time with it at all. It's embarrassing. I just don't do it. So, shooter stuff I'm a lot better at. Let's just put it that way. I'm a lot better at shooters than I am at sports gaming, user versus user, multiplayer, if you will. So, I enjoy it. I like logging on with my friends and having a fun time and laughing and having a good time playing those games. So, I want that to be kind of what the Underdog's all about, is the shooter side of my gaming interests. So that's where all that stuff's going to be. So more content to come on the Underdog, but give it a couple months because I'm still going through that rebrand right now. And then, of course, GGBL. It's going to be all things related to the Gold Glover Baseball League. If you guys don't remember this, I actually did it was a 30-team rebrand with all my created teams for MLB The Show 21. I didn't do this for 22. I rebooted the series in 23 and moved it to its own channel. And I don't have any plans on putting this on 24 or any future MLB The Show installment, honestly, unless franchise mode just sees a major upgrade that would make this league that much better. So if it's better scouting, if it's being able to create a draft class or stuff like this, make my life easier as a creator for running the league, then I would consider moving it to like future installments. But for 24, it looks like it's going to be the same game as 23 for franchise at least. So this league is staying on 23 for the entire year. And that's kind of what the GGBL is going to be about, is just sticking with 23 and just running that league. That roster file is fine. The game works smooth. The slider set's been perfected. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I don't see any changes happening over there. So that's really kind of the channel structure. That's, again, kind of a heart-to-heart with you guys, and I kind of wanted to address the feedback that you provided too in that community post, asking kind of what turns you off, why you stopped watching. So that was kind of good to talk about that. But, you know, I have some great ideas for this year, you know, and my hope is that you enjoy them as much as I know that I will. And again, I just want to thank you guys for all of your support over these many years. And, you know, it was a little rocky there for a little while, but again, I feel like I'm the same person. You know, I've always felt like I've centered the content around you guys. I don't think I've ever really strayed away from that, but, you know, obviously that whole fiasco that happened a couple years ago, like, that changed some people's perspective, I guess. But really, it's always been about creating content for you guys that you would enjoy, getting you guys involved in each series. Truly, this channel is supposed to be community based. My decision back then was not very community based, but I was trying to look out for the channel, something that I built. I was trying to do something for me for once, you know, and I was wrong. So I know we've hashed that out, but anyway, just throwing that out there. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. Let's start fresh and make 2024 a banner year for the channel. See you guys in the next one. As always, thank you for watching, and peace.